Well, hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and today, as promised, I bring you the review of this week's chapter of One Piece 822 of its name, Descending the Elephant. A few chapters ago it was Ascending the Elephant, I believe, and now we have the chapter which I believe marks the end, the official end of the Zou saga. 22 chapters, something like that, 21, 22. But my god, was it a good saga. I'll get more on that later, but now let us begin. I haven't spoken about the cover story a lot, but why not this week? This week we have Brooks' former managers ripping newspapers and smashing tables all over a cabaret in Shibondi when they found out Brooks' new bounty and remember what he did to them, abandoning them mid-concert. But anyway, this cover story is getting to be a not boring, but it's nothing too revealing. It's as it should be, this kind of story, just revealing how characters are now and how they are reacting to the Straw Hats bounties. And thus, making justice to that, we have those who helped them during the time skip finding about their bounties. But we'll see how long this cover story lasts. I believe I want to say something like more like 6 or 7 chapters more, and I believe that the last chapters of the cover story might be the most mysterious. Like we see Chang's figure and we see the poster and we understand that it's Shanks, but we don't really see him. Things like that. Things like that. But anyway, beginning of the chapter, we see Chopper and some Minks, mainly the Minx Dr. Miyagi. We see them treating Zunisha's leg, and my god, what a big treatment it was. It's the whole leg he's strapped with bandages. And Miyagi commentates on Chopper's expertise, the medical science from his former kingdom, from Sakura Kingdom, with the pharmacology science of Torino Kingdom. So we don't usually realize how much Chopper has evolved, not in terms of his power or anything, but his medical expertise. When when Chopper joined the crew, he was already a good doctor, but he's been ever since developing his expertise and becoming better and better. I dare say, and this is a big dare, I dare say that Chopper is on par with Law when it comes to medical expertise, if not a tiny bit better. Because no matter how good of a doctor Law is, let us not forget that most of his capacity as a doctor comes from his devil fruit. But not underestimating Law's knowledge, but let us not forget that Chopper comes from the kingdom known as one of the, if not the best kingdom when it comes to medical expertise. And apparently Torino Kingdom, where he spent the time skip, is also well known for that. But it's always good to see Chopper exercising his profession, actually doing what he's meant to be doing, which is curing people and diseases. And we see a very touching speech from Miyagi about Zunisha, how they never did care, not caring, but they didn't realize how lucky they were to be on top of Zunisha. And today, that day, they realized that someday that might end. It is, it was a touching moment, at least I thought so, because it's something that doesn't happen a lot in reality. I don't know what's with this week's chapters because they all make me remember of things that don't happen in the real world. And Miyagi's speech is one of them. We don't usually realize how lucky we are for the little things or big things, as in case of Zanisha, of how lucky we are on that. And the Minks were kind of like that. They didn't realize how lucky they were to live atop Zunisha because They are safe. Imagine if their island, if Zou was a stationary island. I do not have the minimal doubt that the entire Ming population would already been captured and sold as slaves. And so they are real lucky, and they felt that being taken from them, almost taken from them today. And they are aware that one day that is going to end. A millionaire old elephant cannot hold forever. And he said something very interesting. Just where in the world are you going? This might seem unimportant, but if you have the tiniest vein of theorizing in yourself, you would start going bananas with your nerve brain, with your nerves, because it makes me actually think, does Zunisha's punishment is something more than a mere punishment? Because when we think about it, I mean, okay, 1,000 years ago, Zunisha was condemned to walk the earth forever. But the point is, how long has she walked? Has she gone around the world? Where has she gone? Because even if the One Piece world is as vast as we believed it to be, let's think of it as the same size of Earth. I don't know what's the radius of Earth. I never claim to know, and I will never know. But it's big. Let us think that the One Piece world, the One Piece sphere world, is of the same radius and size of our Earth. In 1,000 years, even at a slow speed, I believe Zunisha would be able to turn the world around at least. I'm gonna stay low 4 times at a slow and steady pace, and this would be without any interferences. We have Greenland and the Antarctic region to the south, but still, let us imagine in a straight line with no higher interferences. But in the One Piece world, we have the red line. And I don't know about you, but if there would be a giant elephant walking around, forget scaling the red line, but he would have at least stopped or passed by one island. At least one in his whole way. So, was he always in the new world? Is she going around in circles? Even if she's going around in circles, she either restrains herself within the boundaries of the new world, the boundaries meaning the calm belt on either side, or she could have transcended the calm belt and still wandered around the blues. It's something that has been bugging me ever since I saw Zunisha, and now, after we know why she's condemned to walk, it's something that's bugging me because how? How is she walking? Is she walking around in circles? Is she walking in a straight line? Does her punishment have a final goal she needs to achieve before being able to rest or to die? Something like that. I hope I have made myself clear. But I've lost a lot of time on this. Maybe, and I say this a lot, maybe I'll elaborate on that later. But going to Zou, exactly to the Mokomo Dukadon, we see that Momonosuke has decided to stay in Zou, and for a pretty good reason that I actually agree with him a lot. He wants to talk with Zunisha about how is his voice the only one that can reach it, and if she knows anything about the Kozuki clan. And I do sincerely believe that Momonosuke can find something out about the Void Century, about the Kozuki clan story, about the voice of all things, because I believe it will help not only Momonosuke grow, making him more responsible, having to share the burden of history, but it will allow to have someone else tell us something from the past story of the One Piece world. And Kinemon ends up agreeing, but they say they cannot stay. But we find out that Inuarashi intends to stay in Zou. Contrary to my former beliefs, which you remember a few videos past, I actually thought that Inuarashi and Nekomamushi would go together to look for Mako. Apparently, it is not so. And so we now have four teams formed. Team number one, the one who will go to Wano country with his main leaders, let us say like that, Kinemon, Law, and Zoro. Second team, the Mako Search team, Nekomamushi's team, which so far only has one leader, Nekomamushi himself. Team number three, which is Luffy's team and a team that will go to Whole Cake Island to stop Sanji's wedding. With Luffy, Peckham's, Nami, Brook, Chopper, and in this chapter we discover that Pedro actually wants to go with them, but we'll go to that later. And now they have a worry, which is how will they contact between four teams? They need Dendenmushis. But apparently neither Wano or Zou have used Dendenmushis on a regular basis. And apparently they can be made just like that, because Robin said she saw some snails in the forest, and Frankie says, I can do them, it's pretty easy. Who thought that making cell phones in the One Piece world was actually that easy? Probably cheaper too. Imagine, you just go in the wild, you fetch a snail, and ta-da, just like that you have yourself a cell phone. And here we are spending a lot of money on our cell phones. Maybe we gotta start making snail phones, just like in the One Piece world. Who knows? And going now to the insides of the Whale Forest, the house where Peckham's was actually destroyed by the impact of Jack's attack. But not to worry, because Peckham's managed to protect himself thanks to his devil fruit, which we all knew from the very beginning when we saw it in Fishman Island. It is the Kame Kame no Mi, aka the turtle fruit. That's a mouthful. The turtle fruit. Jesus. And him and Luffy have a bit of a conversation, and Luffy just takes him on his back, and there he goes, running with him, still injured, on his back. And now it comes to the part where I said that Pedro wanted to join the team. He says that even though Sanji was the savior of the country, they allowed him to be kidnapped within the borders. And except for Peckham's, there's no other Mink on the rescue team. And Pedro thinks that it's not acceptable that it is that way. And so he commits himself to go with the team. And so another member joins the team, which is pretty interesting because if you remember, when Sanji and company arrived at Zou, Pedro was the first Ming they talked to. Pedro was the one that begged them to save Inuarashi and Nekomamushi. And so it only feels natural to me that you want to help Sanji, given that the Minks have shown to be a very, very thankful and friendly race. And so I welcome Pedro aboard, and I really hope to see him fight. I really want to see the Minks fight for real and not just on stopped images. Well, stopped images is kind of redundant because this is a manga, but you know what I mean, to see them fight in real time. Because when we saw them fight was in the flashback when Jack attacked the island. But now we will actually get to see, well, probably, hopefully not, because it's not supposed to be a combat mission, but you know what I mean. But then people from all around start together and saying that they are the ones to shoot their company, the team. The Three Musketeers say that Vanda says that based on that she was with the crew the whole time since they got there. Tristan, the dear Mink, says that she should go because she's Dr. Chopper's assistant. Assistant, I know what kind of assistance you do to him, little Tristan. Blackback and Rhodey say they should go because they fought with Luffy. Mm. But the two best reasons are the two next ones. From Father Yomo, the big sheep where Nami slept on. He says that he should go because Nami likes to sleep on his stomach. And then we have the dog clan who says they should go because they want to chew on Brooks' corpse forever. Two best arguments and motives to join the team. But by the order of Nekomamushi, the only one who's going to accompany the team is none other than Pedro himself. Because apparently he's the only one that can keep Peckham's in line. Now why should this be? Does Peckham's have some sort of eye disturbance that makes him lose control or something? I don't know. I suspect that Pedro and Peckham's might be brothers. Later in the chapter, Peckham's calls Pedro brother Pedro. Now, is it brother as in like camaraderie? In a camaraderie sense? We are like from the same race, they probably served under Nekomamushi in the past. Maybe Peckham's was one of Nekomamushi's top members. But I still believe that apart from that, they might be brothers. And I don't know what Peckham's did or can do, but apparently Pedro is the only one that can control him, and so Pedro is more than necessary to the team. Another big reveal, in fact, I believe the second biggest reveal of this chapter, Nami's new weapon, the sorcery climate tact. I believe it was already called that when she got from the time skip. I am in doubt if it was only sorcery tact or if it was already sorcery climate tact. But I believe it was only sorcery tact. And I dare say that this is the ultimate form of Nami's weapon. I do not believe it will get any more upgrades after this. Now it's only up to her to use it properly, because it was built from the growth capabilities of the pop greens, and it has kind of a coating treatment made by Frankie, and it has all the gadgets and weapons that Nami brought from Wetaria except one, which is called a magic one of sorts. I was obsessed that Nami told him about this magic wand back in Shibondi, but I don't actually remember that. So it could have been and I just forgot, or it actually didn't happen on screen, and it was one of those things that happens in secret in the backstage that we never see. But apparently this new Climatex can grow to variable sizes. Now, this is pretty interesting. Probably the variable sizes have to do with the different gadgets and devices from Weatheria. It will be good. It will be interesting to see, depending on how it grows, how will she use the techniques. And apparently, I'm seeing it right now. It can either grow only on one half or both, and variable of size. It's a pretty interesting weapon, and I'm really hoping that Nami can now have more proper fights. I believe she already could have more proper fights with her former Clim attack, the one she got after the time skip. But now I really hope that she can have better fights. And yes, I'm not saying that the fights she had so far were bad. Her fight against Khalifa was pretty good. And yes, that was pretty much the only big fight she got ever. She fought against Miss Doublefinger. I've recently rewatched the Baroque Works Saga. I'm rewatching One Piece from the beginning, and I recently finished Baroque Works Saga. And her first battle, the battle against Miss Doublefinger, was actually a pretty good battle. And so I hope to see more of that. I want to see Nami fight more. I want to see the members of the Straw Hats that didn't have a lot of showtime or any showtime to that in Dressrosa to actually fight now and have their screen time. and she already begins sending thunders all over the place. Even Raizo is surprised that she can make ninjutsu. And Nami thanks Usopp, and Usopp starts asking the forbidden question, the fee for the materials, and Nami's like, Mirage Tempo, and I'm away. And Usopp is like angry at her. It's funny. And now we join for the climax of the chapter at the main gate of Zou, where the team is joined to go to Whole Cake Island. Peckham's, Luffy, Brook, Nami, Pedro, and Chopper. And I believe that Carrot is somewhere inside that lunchbox. I don't know, but I'm kind of feeling it. Because if you remember a few chapters back, Carrot said that it would be funny to go on a mission with Luffy, and she looks like the rebellious type, and so I believe that she might be hidden. If not in Luffy's bag, maybe in Pedro's bag. So we'll see, and it's funny to see meat bones coming out of Luffy's bag. It's really funny to see that. And they start saying their goodbyes. Wanda hugs Nami in a very heartful way, and Peckham asks, "Oh, why are you here, brother Pedro?" This is what I said, brother Pedro. The way it says it, brother Pedro, it doesn't make it look like they are actually brothers. So that's why I said maybe it's a sense of camaraderie in like they served together in Nekomamushi's army, and so they came to call each other brothers. Because I don't have brothers. I'm single son. But if you have brothers and sisters, you usually do not call them by brother Hannah or brother John or whatever your brother or sister name is. Not brother Anna, sister Anna, or brother John, or something like that. You actually call them brother, big brother, or anything like that, or even just by their names. But so brother Pedro actually makes it look like it's a more militarized thing, kind of not militarized, but it's not family, if you know what I mean. But he says that I'll be tagging along as someone very familiar with your tendencies. Again, what is the deal with Peckham's? Is he known to betray? So that's why they have to keep him in check? Is he like a false person who says things and then doesn't fulfill them? That could very well be the case, but I do not believe that a lot. I've thought about it, but I do not really know about that. And the rest of the gang says their goodbyes with a big farewell to people, and Kanjuro actually offers to help them go down, but the sooner they realize Luffy's arms are already wrapped around them, and there they go, and they jump from Zunisha, and their faces just go bananas. Luffy is smiling, and the others are like, please just save me. And the ones that remain in Zunisha are like, oh my god, what has he done? And Lost Face, if you look closely to Lost Face, she's like thinking, oh my god, what's this bastard doing? And the others are just like with their tongues reaching out. And Luffy's crew, Nami is like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. Pedro is like, what is this crazy man? Chopper has fainted. Beckham's is crying for his life, and Brooks' soul has gone out of his body. And the remaining of the crew, Zoro, Robin, Frankie, and Usopp are just like, be well, just go. Just go. And now the last page. And my friends, for me, this was a heck of a beautiful ending. I believe, my friends, that we are now entering in the Reverie Arc. Yes, the last page shows Vivi and her committee, Cobra, Chaka, and I believe Pell in the stairs of the ship, going where else to the world Reverie. We see Alabasta Kingdom's ship, and behind it we see a marine's vessel. And so I believe, as I said in the beginning of the video, 822 marks the official end of the Zou Saga and kick in the Reverie Saga. And I have been waiting for the Reverie Saga for a long time, especially now, because before, in during Drum's arc, we had a flashback of a reverie where Apple met Vivi when she was little, and Dalton was there as well. And when Apple slapped Vivi in the face. But now, back then, we only knew, or we only would know two characters, Wapol and Cobra, no one else. But now I believe all the kings that are going to be present in the reverie will be somehow important in the story. So far, we have four ally kingdoms of Luffy. We have Alabasta, with Vivi, Cobra, Chak, and Pell. We will have Sakura Kingdom, Dalton, and I don't know who else. I doubted that Kureha will go with Dalton. It would be cool because now they have the Ishii 100, I believe, so they will not have problems if Kureha leaves the country. So maybe Dalton and Kureha, it would be pretty cool. Then we have now Dressrosa, King Riku, Tang, probably Violet, maybe Rebecca. No, Rebecca, no, because she kind of resigned from the throne. So Violet or Viola. And we have Proden's king. Although not being truly an allied country with Luffy, they are sympathetic with him because their king Elisabello and Dagama were saved by Luffy and his crew. So that makes four kings and kingdoms allied with Luffy. And I doubted that the kings and queens and representatives of the countries that we'll see in the reverie will not matter in some little as a way as it can be, but all of them will matter in the story or just in this arc. And what a better time to have to held the reverie. The world is at chaos, and that same chaos will just grow larger and larger by the day. And with Big Mom Saga coming right in the horizon, the Wano Saga just around the corner as well, the Reverie Saga just drops in like a hot cake. And let us not forget, we also have the incident with the revolutionaries. So, what if next chapter actually doesn't focus on Luffy and his crew at all? Instead, it focuses on the kingdoms and on the revolutionaries. That, to me, would be a great way to kick the next chapter. I want to believe it was true, but I read an article yesterday that said that this chapter would have a great revelation on how the world is going. And to me, this is it. Vivi going to the reverie is, without a shadow of a doubt, the last hammering on the nail on the start of the Reverie Arc. And so it is, my friends. As I said, again, this marks the official end of the Zou Saga. A small saga, as I always thought it would be, but nonetheless, one of the best arcs or sagas so far. Short, but full to the brim with information, much needed information I had. And just a precursor to so many things, to this final quarter of the run, to this last 30% on our great One Piece history. So my friends, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Comment on the comment section down below what you thought of this chapter, what you think will happen in the future chapters. Do you think it will focus on Luffy's journey to Whole Cake Island? Do you think it will focus on Vivi and the remaining kingdoms allied with Luffy? And any other kingdoms for that matter? Maybe this is where we'll start to know some of the kingdoms and see the figures of their representatives. Like somewhere in the Grand Line, this kingdom, and we see the vault. Oh, it's already that time of the year, the Reverie. I wonder what we will speak about this year. And then in another kingdom, like little pieces of dialogue that together make one kingdom says one thing and the other kingdom said the same thing, but now they show the conversation on a different part. And so we have like, oh, what might we speak about this year? Oh, probably that guy, the Straw Hat Luffy. Oh, yeah, another kingdom. Don't forget about Dragon the Revolutionary. Oh, yes, but we also have the Yonkos. You see, like, it would be very interesting to see a chapter like that. But we'll see, only Oda knows, and next week we will know for sure. And I've spoken for long enough. As always, please tell me your opinion on this video, on this chapter, and my overall performance. The comment section down below is yours to use and abuse, and I will see you next week.